Come with me on a journey outside, away from it all. Follow me into the dust. A dust cloud covers the city and you can't see the suspension bridge. You've not seen the suspension bridge in some time now. It used to be there, in plain sight. Now it's hidden behind the endless wall of dust. Cigarette papers on the floor, grit under your nails. When did you last see the sunshine? It's there, somewhere, behind all the dust and the grit and the fumes. Breathe it in. Breathe it all in. Breathe in the dust and the grit and the fumes. This is you. Sometimes it feels like a struggle, doesn't it? Like you've really got to squeeze out the imagination. Or like, you can imagine stuff, but it all just comes out the same. Bland. Like your every idea has an identical, monotonous drone to it. Like, no matter what you do, whatever voice you come up with is essentially, inescapably, you. There's no getting away from it. Everything you write sounds the same, and just like hearing a recording of your own voice, it makes you squirm. There's a word for that. We feel it because when we speak, we hear the way our own voice sounds as it resonates in our skulls. When other people hear our voices, they hear what comes out of our mouths. Yet, in spite of having the most annoying voice in the world, I still have friends. So I must be doing something right. When we write, it comes out as inescapably our own voice, with all its persistent, irritating tones and its long, droning sentences. We hear our thoughts as if from another mind. And we sound so cool in our own heads. Go outside and write, you said. Turn your fooling process into written words. You knew you were destined to be special. All you needed was a hook. You shouldn't have been so surprised. What are you working with here? Where's the room for the unexpected? Is a cat going to leap in front of your screen? Is the spacebar going to stop working? As you type, your index finger snaps in two and your every word is sodden with pain. Ah! You scream and you cry. The ambulance carts you away. I've got to keep trying, you say. I found a flow. I finally found a flow. The ambulance men pin you down on the bed. You're thrown around like a rag doll as the tyre bounces on tarmac, tripping on potholes and crevices. I need to write, you say. I've got to write. He's bleeding heavily from his index finger. We've got to sedate him now, or we could lose him. The ambulance men are too strong. As darkness enshrouds you, you find yourself. You see, it doesn't really bother me that everything is nothing, you tell God. He takes another word as original from his pouch and pops it in his mouth. It clatters on his stained teeth like a shopping cart on cobbled streets. Clack, clack, clack. No, really, it doesn't. They say my generation is super invested in the greater meanings of the universe, like we're also on some kind of quest for purpose. And I don't think that's true. The drool from God's mouth drips into his beard as he savours the butterscotch flavour. They say millennials all think they're supposed to be some kind of rock stars. Like, each generation before us was more successful than the last, and so for us, there's nothing else to strive for except for us all to become rock stars. A yellow sludge forms around the corner of God's mouth, which he ignores. The word as original clatters still, no doubt depositing a silky residue of caramel flavour on his moist tongue. His mouth twitches involuntarily, revealing, for a fleeting moment, his handful of remaining teeth. But I don't want to be a rock star. Never have done. I can't think of any of my friends who want to be rock stars either. Statistically, I think you're no more likely to meet a millennial who wants to be a rock star than to meet an actual rock star. God coughs. See, I think I've always seen myself as quite content, you say. I don't think I really needed anything more than what I had. I think I was generally happy to live in the moment. He pulls a handkerchief from his mouth. Blood. You pretend you didn't notice. Floating happy cubes. We are happy floating cubes, and we've come to build your house. Stackers tall, stackers high, stackers up into the sky. A builder's work is never done, especially when it's so much fun. Stackers tall, stackers high, stackers up into the sky. Will you please stop it? You wail at the blocks. They've been at this for hours. Mother comes in and gives you a cuddle. She checks your bottom for moistness. She tries to feed you. You're not hungry. It's no use. So you stop crying. She puts you down, but she does not put the blocks away. Who's that hiding behind the curtain? Oh, they'll never find me. Parliament begins in 10 minutes, but they'll never find me. No more, I put it to the right honourable gentleman. No more, hear, hear. I'm behind the speaker's chair, and they can't begin without me. Black Rod's getting impatient. I can see them all gathered at the entrance. I had a hidden camera installed so I can watch. And nobody has had the bright idea to come and check for me in here. They can't begin without me. I snicker. And as I snicker my little snicker snack, I hear a tittering from behind. Who's that? A tittering behind me? It's my opposite number! They can't begin without me, he chuckles, and I chuckle too. They can't begin without him. Keep your voice down, I say, or they'll hear. Ed screws up his face like a little raisin as he tries to stifle the laughter. Look, he says, and shows me his phone. I had a hidden camera installed. I can see them all waiting. Black Rod looks so impatient. Nobody found us for 5 hours. it did not make the evening news. Somewhere up in the sky, Neil Armstrong is looking down on us. He stacked up all the logs and ripped open a fresh pack of marshmallows. The campfire burns and the marshmallows float all around him like pink bubble clouds. Neil Armstrong in his camping chair, watching the earth go by. Neil Armstrong in his camping chair can pick out Santiago and Buenos Aires. Utah is covered by cloud. Neil Armstrong doesn't care how much oxygen he has left. The fire is so warm. The flame flickers and dances, casting jittering shadows in his dusty grey footprints. The door of the lunar landing module swings open, golf clubs spilling out into thin air. Neil Armstrong has set up his telescope and is looking through it at you. What have you done that's so important? What have you got going on that Neil Armstrong should be so interested in? He watches you walk down the street, and he makes a note in his little white reporter's notebook. When the fire's burned out and the rescue party arrives, they will find out just what he's written about you. I want to hug you, but I am a greasy chicken man. I want to let you know just how much I love you, but I am afraid my grease will stain your beautiful new dress, and also I look like a chicken. Look into my eyes. Look into my greasy chicken eyes. Tell me you love me. Tell me you love me the way I love you. Or don't. I can't bear to hear that you don't love me too. But I understand. I am a very greasy man. And I look like a chicken. One day I shall fly from this coop. I shall run through the streets nude and dripping with grease, scraggly arms clutched tight at my sides like tiny letter V's, bulbous thighs propelling me at the speed of 100 men. It'll make the evening news. A greasy chicken man spotted in Daventry. I'm hiding in a skip behind the KFC. A cold night air clings to my skin as I look up to the stars and try to forget you. You're all alone, and nobody suspects a thing. God's body lies crumpled on a park bench. You cross it off the bucket list. Well, my friends, I made it. And I'd like to thank you all for being here. This song goes out to the fans, the bands, the greasy chicken man, Armstrong on the moon, PM hiding in a conference room, giant yellow slugs, centipedes and bugs, dead God on a park bench. All of this came to me in a dream, fluid as a stream, and came out finished and pristine, fully formed and polished, not a single bit of it embellished, unedited. This is my truth, and maybe you can't handle my truth. Maybe you're too weak for my truth. You're not ready. It's too much for you. For you, my truth would just sound like white noise. Music on this recording was taken from the albums Astral, Telecommunications, and Cicada by Patricia Taxxon.